Voices that shape the narrative, truth that stands unwavering, culture that defines our people, governance that drives change. The Bangsamoro Lens.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Welcome again for another episode ng The Bangsamoro Lens. Ako pa rin po inyong lingkod, Nords Maguindanao, at kasama natin si Attorney Alex Abaton. Kung sa pag-uusapan natin, continuing from the past episodes, syempre, nandun na tayo sa history, nandun na tayo sa hanap o kaya kung paano na form yung iba't ibang fronts, yung Bangsamoro government. Kasama din natin si Attorney Algamar Latif. Na ngayon may makakasama na naman tayo at makabuluhang diskusyon na naman ito. Attorney Alex?
Well, Nords, again, ito po yung ating Bangsamoro Lens at napakaganda po na magiging talakayan ngayon dahil hindi lang po tayo nag-usap ng mga previous episodes po natin doon sa tinatawag nating historical narrative ng Bangsamoro people, but eventually, as we go along, ito yung tinitingnan natin yung dynamics ng governance. Importante po rito dahil sa napakaganda ng pagkakataon na to, Nords, dahil unang-una yung ating makakasama today, makakakwentuhan natin. No? Actually, ay isang constitutionalist. No? Kumbaga, charter change advocate. Yan. At sa mahabang pagkakataon, ako po mismo, nakita ko yung kanyang painstaking efforts really to ensure na makarating yung kanyang mensahe. No? At dito, titingnan po natin dahil alam naman natin na yung even in the ruling of the Supreme Court, dito lumabas yung asymmetrical autonomy. Yes. Ibig sabihin po niyan, parang hybrid eh. Meron kang presidential form of government and then eventually, meron kang tinatawag na regional parliamentary. At ito, ang pinakamaganda po rito, isang constitutionalist, isang nagsusulong ng federalismo. So titingnan natin kung saan papasok yung alimbang mas dapat, federalism, form of government, or an autonomy will do. So yan po yung mga bagay na our guest will share to us. Of course, ang ating kaibigan, si Mr. Orion Perez.
Ayan. Okay.
Welcome to the Bangsamoro Lens,
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, boss. Well, anyway, yan. Thank you for having me. Talagang, tingin ko talaga importanteng topic ito. Especially for the Bangsamoro region. Kasi parang ang napag-usapan ng maraming ibang tao paminsan na yung pagkakaroon ng autonomy na under the current structure that we have, parang paminsan para siyang magkakataon na meron kang napakalaking monster truck na ipapasok mo dun sa garahe na ginawa para sa BIOS.
Okay.
Parang ganun, di ba?
Okay.
So parang kinakailangan natin i-repurpose yung garahe na yan na lumaki para kumasya etong malaking vehicle na ipapasok natin. Parang yan ang, I think that's the closest analogy that I could come up with para dito sa ano.
Kasi kung titingnan mo yan, doon sa iba, yung ginawa kasing parang asymmetrical or hybrid, if we want to call it, this is more of a constitutional innovation.
Yes,
because under the 1987 Constitution, alam naman natin dyan na it's a unitary, bicameral.
Yes.
Bicameral form of government,
government.
and then presidential, then here you are, meron kang regional
Yes.
na merong parliamentary form of government. So, kaya importante, Nords, yung mga insight na mga galing kay Brian. Because parang ito ay magiging experimental eh. I mean, ito yung sinasabi nilang malapit-lapit sa federalismo.
Yes.
I mean, so doon natin siguro tingnan yung konteksto dahil one of the issues palaging kung bakit sinasabi nila hindi makausad-usad ang Pilipinas, ang mga iba't ibang rehiyon, dahil of the structural defects. In fact, you've been very, yung masasabi natin na napaka-vocal mo dyan. Sabi mo nga, ang problema talaga natin, sistema.
Sistema.
It's the system.
It's the system. It's a continuing system since 1987. And we want to get your insight on that. Kasi alam natin, by September, hopefully, magkakaroon po ng kauna-unahang Bangsamoro parliamentary election. So this is a historic one.
Tuhog pa rin tayo sa Bangsamoro.
So ang ibig sabihin po niyan, kaya gusto natin makita ano ba yung how do other people outside the BARM.
Yes, yun
Diba?
yung perspective na gusto
Perspective
natin
eh.
makita.
Kasi kami walang problema.
Alam
Yes.
na namin yan.
Alam na namin
Yun yung
yan eh.
gusto
Pero
namin.
ano bang tingin ng isang constitutionalist, ang isang federalism advocate? Kung is this doable yung mga issue natin sa walang katapusang usapin sa political
Kapayapaan,
dynasties?
Political dynasty.
We are transforming from a personality-based politics to a party-based.
Yes.
So yun yung mga kailangan, boss, na at least maipaliwanag natin sa ating mga viewers.
Definitely. Kung titingnan talaga natin yung sistema, no? One of our problems I see is kasi nagkakascade downwards pati sa mga regions and including the Bangsamoro region, yung mga features or so-called or even defects ng national constitution. So for example, no, we want to have a real meaningful autonomy. Pero meron tayong, for example, inside the constitution, meron tayong yung Article 10, Section 12,
Okay.
which is the clause that talks about the independent cities. Independent cities in
Okay.
So ito yung clause na parang bang sinasabi niya na yung mga tinatawag nating mga prominenteng cities, mayayamang cities, actually ay nabibigyan sila ng independence from the province to which they belong, and that gets defined as etong mga to hindi na nga sila dun sa province nila, yung original province nila nagre-report, diba? Kundi sa national government na.
Tama.
Yun yung nangyayari. And so if we end up having within the context of the Bangsamoro region, nagkaroon tayo ng mga highly yung mga sasabi nating highly progressive na cities. 'Di ba? Pag nangyari ang mga 'yan, umabot sila dun sa yung tinatawag nating threshold na sasabihin, "Oy, ano ka na? You are an independent, highly urbanized city na." Di yung mga 'yan parang ba silang natanggal dun sa kanilang pinanggalingang probinsya at dun na sila dapat sa national government pupunta. So may mga ganong klaseng issues na and to be honest, yung issue na ito, bakit tayo nagkaroon ng ganyan issue? Galing yan sa mga Amerikano.
Yan.
Agree.
Oo,
Sa Amerika,
tama.
yan.
Oo. I mean, if we go back to the history, pero on the perspective naman of history, alam natin na si Sir Orion is one of the history buffs when it comes to history. But kasi 'di ba nung last time na episode natin with the Attorney Alga, nabanggit niya that the Mindanao dati is from Sultanate, a federated state, tapos naging Moro province, up
Okay.
until napunta tayo sa nasali na tayo with the Philippine government nung ginawa na. On those setups dun dati, baka pwede mo kaming i-share, baka may ma-share ka na kasi dati we are all, kumbaga the governance before the coming of the Spaniards, so mga lahat na yan, it's federated states by the
Yes.
sultans, by the datus, and they live along in harmony. Titingnan natin. Baka pwedeng doon tayo mag-start.
Yes, I would say that was much more organic and more natural setting. Ang nangyari kasi nagkaroon ng artificial na parang ipapataw natin itong sistema ng mga Amerikano dito sa sistema na meron na pala.
So parang hindi na natin to bago pala.
Oo,
Lalo na sa amin sa Mindanao,
Yes, correct. Ngayon, I'll give a context, no. Yung dun sa yung sinasabi natin yung independent cities na yan. Meron pala kasi yan sa states na yung nangyayari, for example sa Virginia. Virginia is the typical example talaga ng state na talagang ganyan na ganyan sila. Kasi may maraming ang state yan, you have the state, but underneath the state, meron sila yung tinatawag na counties. And then under the counties, nandun yung mga cities and municipalities. So, yung nangyari, when the Philippines came under the Americans, inadapt na lang nila the Philippines should be just treated like it's as if it was a state of the US.
Oo, tama.
And then
Tama.
Virginia was the one, if I'm not mistaken, there was the Jones Law.
Namuntik na tayo masali, one of the states actually ng America.
Yes. Jones Law, I think this particular
Kung
senator,
nagkataon, pwede pa tayo naging
American
51
citizen.
51 state ng Amerika. Pero maganda yung konteksto, Orayo, na binabanggit mo. Kasi doon sa ating mga manonood, para lang bigyan din natin ng perspective, binabanggit mo yung mga independent cities din kasi from the counties and then so on and so forth. Alam nyo po, as we are right now, we are under a presidential form of government. Ano pong ibig sabihin yan? Centralized. Okay. And then, you have a unique autonomy in Mindanao, which is the autonomous, prior to BARM, this is
ARMM
the so-called
dati.
ARMM. So, yung transition from ARMM to BARM, this is a continuing quest really to, ano ba yung mag-fit na form of government? Because, kung nakita mo yan, in essence, pag tinatanong nga tayo, Nords, ano ba pinagkaiba ng ARMM dun sa BARMM? Aside from
Yung B.
may dinagdag na
May
letrang
dinagdag
B,
na
no?
B,
Yung
B lang
may
daw.
binagdag na letrang B, no? But essentially, kasi hindi naman nagbago yung geographical structure. Of course, yung binabanggit ni Orion under the Constitution, yung binabanggit mo na kapag may certain percentage, limbawa, criteria, before a component city become an highly urbanized one. So in essence, pag highly urbanized one ka, nagkakaroon ka ng chartered city. So nawawala ka ngayon dun sa probinsya, no? Pero ang gusto nating puntuin dyan, Orion, of course, pag federalismo, parang you are creating a co-equal regional governments from
Yes.
different regions.
Yes, correct.
Ganon yung setup. Kaya nga ang sabi ko nga dyan, Rods, ito yung malapit-lapit doon sa federalismo kasi parang ito yung magiging
Parang showcase nga siya eh.
pag nagkataon, this will become a model.
It will become a showcase. It is.
Di ba? But of course, kailangan pa rin natin makita yan dahil ang political structure, nung tinitingnan natin yan, minsan yung pag-usbong ng isang rehiyon, hindi naman nangangahulugan na pag nagpalit ka ng anyo or structure, magbabago na yan.
Agad-agad.
Agad-agad because sa totoo lang, whether we accept it or not, even not only in Mindanao, hanggat naka-clan base pa rin at personality-driven yung ating political landscape, may hirapan mo maitawid kagad eh. Pero ang importante dito, sa part po ng platform natin, ito yung binibigay natin yung side story.
Yes.
Kumbaga, nagbibigay tayo ng insights through you, how we can really define and siguro you can give us yung ating mga kababayan, Ryan, kung ano ba yung what are the incentives or benefits assuming that from an autonomy inadapt natin hypothetically yung federalism in terms of fiscal autonomy, in terms of power control. Of course, alam ko, very vocal ka rin dun sa issue, dun sa constitution, dun sa economic restriction provision.
Yes.
Kasi pag tiningnan mo yan, on the same token na sinasabi mong ito yung nagpapabagal ng development sa Pilipinas, and the same holds true maybe in the BARM.
Yes. It
Because
will be
hindi naman hiwalay.
Yes. Actually, ito so maybe this can help talaga, ano? Yung mga anti-foreign investment restrictions, yung mga economic restrictions na nasa loob ng 1987 Constitution, nakikita ko yan as major balakid, major sagabal sa pag-unlad ng BARM. Because marami kami sa Correct Movement, we are rooting for BARM because we want BARM to become the model.
Okay.
Na kumbaga parang gusto talaga namin na mag-succeed ang BARM kasi pag nag-succeed yan, pwede namin gamitin yan as, kita nyo, pag nagkaroon ng ganyan, edi yung lahat ng mga regions, kung gagayahin din nila yan, magiging very progressive.
Sabi nga nila, it could be a template of the country for a federalist government.
Yes.
Nag-approve yan.
However, what is holding BARM back, the main thing that's holding BARM back is the economic restrictions in the Constitution. That's what I see. Because what happens is, yung itong mga constitutional restrictions against foreign investors, na nasa national constitution siya, para siyang tinatawag nating force field na apektado ang lahat ng nasa Pilipinas kasama ang BARM.
Okay.
And kumbaga, there are people kasi who think na kapag nagkaroon tayo ng PESA, exempted ang PESA sa sa kung ano yung nakasulat sa constitution. Sabi ko, no, that's not true. And then the same thing with BARM. And sabi ko, no, BARM is also under the 1987 constitution. All PESA, mga lugar na PESA, lahat yan na they are under the 60-40 and other things. So yung pagpigil or yung magiging mas mahirap makapasok ang mga investor, naapektuhan ang lahat. Kahit yung BARM sabihin, tara, magkuha tayo ng maraming investors from the rich oil-rich countries in the Middle East who are all willing to help out their Muslim brothers. Hindi nila magawa kasi nandyan yung restrictions
Yes.
'Di ba? Tapos ang mga ibang mga tao yung ibang mga corporate lawyer na nasa Metro Manila na iba na hindi nakakaintindi ng Islamic law or whatever, sasabihin nila, hindi, pwede namang gumawa ng dami Parang,
hindi pwede.
hindi pwede. Hindi pwede.
There's so many restrictions. So
Ano bang kalokohan yan?
actually, there's a
Diba?
unique setup when you are investing in these Muslim countries na talagang even in the stock exchange, meron nga tayong sariling stock exchange na Sharia in
Yes,
Islamic
yes.
perspective
Exactly.
Doon lang. So when you invest there, you could only invest on investments probability na hindi siya align siya sa Sharia. No?
Halal compliant.
Halal
ganun.
compliant.
Actually, yun probably yung mga other unique features nung BARM dahil it recognizes yung halal industry.
Yes.
no?
Halal industry.
At a regional level. Kumbaga,
Exactly.
because obviously, alam naman natin, BARM, halos that's really a 90% or 99% residents natin dyan are all Bangsamoros. But basically, ang tinitingnan natin dyan kanina, yung Nords na binabanggit mo, kahit meron kang BARM per se, hindi ka naman totally detached sa national government.
Hindi talaga.
So
pa rin.
basically, hindi naman ito yung tipong parang Vatican na state within a state. Hindi ganon
Hindi pa rin.
Nakatali ka pa rin. Of course, there are, ang sabi nga nila, may mga features yung BARM that are at least it provided more opportunities for the Bangsamoro people comparing it to the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao. Because at the time,
Parang
sa budgeting pa lang.
para pinalaking region.
Oo, nung
Yes,
budgeting pa lang dun sa ARMM, parang, alam mo, parang national government na
Fiscal autonomy.
nagsasubmit ka ng budget
Ng
for the
budget.
current year, no? And then you have to justify that. Kailangan may itemize yung mga pondo per department. But of course, under the BARM, meron tinatawag na yung black grant.
Black grant.
Block grants.
No, so ibig sabihin nun, ibababa yung kabuuan ng
5%,
budget,
if I'm not mistaken, 5% of
Probably.
the GDP.
And then the Bangsamoro Parliament, which is now the Bangsamoro Transition Authority, no? Kasi kaya nga alam mo, kaya maganda po ito dahil sabi nga nila, this is the first time na magkakaroon tayo ng election under the BARM. So ang mandato mismo ng mga upo na members ng parliament will come from the people directly.
Yes.
Then what is one of the distinct features of the BARM, hopefully dito sa Bangsamoro Parliament, is that 50% of those members that will comprise the parliament will come from the political parties. And then political parties as well as yung sectoral.
Sectoral.
And then also
And yung district.
yung sa district. So ibig sabihin nun, nagkakaroon po tayo ng shifting
Yes.
from a personality-driven politics to a party-based politics. Pero ano mga loopholes niyan? Ano nakikita mo even assuming?
Ako actually, sir, nakikita ko, yung main problem all around the Philippines, including sa BARM, is that many of our issues in politics are ultimately traceable to economic problems. So, yung nangyayari na typical na bakit masyadong patronage politics based ang politics? Bakit mga ordinaryong mamamayan laging hingi ng tulong doon sa politiko? And usually yung politiko na yan ay galing sa prominent family, mayayaman na family. Dahil sa konti nga talaga ang kanilang economic opportunities, konti yung kanilang sweldo sa trabaho, konti lang ang trabaho na available, ang nangyayari, kinakailangan nilang humingi ng pondo para sa dun sa mga big, tawag nito, big ticket na expenses. Na, kunyari, ang lola ay na ospital.
Yes.
Ayan, yung mga ganyan. So, little things like that, they keep on asking money from those people who are better off in society, yung mga prominenteng tao. And that becomes the basis of the dynastic, yung parang parang dynastic dynamics ng Philippines. But if we had a system whereby in terms of economics, lahat ng tao ay nagkakaroon ng mga magagandang trabaho. So yung kaya ko laging binabalikan yung kinakailangan natin maging open sa pagpasok ng investors. Kasi yun ang ginawa ni Lee Kuan Yew sa Singapore.
Agree.
Sabi niya, nung time ni Lee Kuan Yew, and later on even Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia saw the same thing, ginaya niya. So we don't have that many local big businessmen who can create companies that will absorb all of our unemployed. If we cannot do that, then let's import jobs from abroad. Let's bring in the companies. Yun, let's bring in the company. Bahala na, wala na akong pakialam sino may-ari ng kumpanya. Basta't magkatrabaho muna yung mga tao. Total, babayaran naman sila ng sweldo, training naman sila, may matututunan sila. Eventually, these people will also be able to start their own business kasi may natutunan sila. So, ganun, and that's what made Singapore. And then,
one of the
later on,
powerhouses.
and even Malaysia. So, Malaysia copied. Right next door naman din sila. So, kung anong ginagawa ng Singapore, gawin din natin. And they were able to do the same. So when we go to Kuala Lumpur, it looks like Singapore. It's a very parang first world looking na talaga siya.
Oo.
'Di ba? So and to think na actually dito sa Pilipinas, we were way more educated than the people of Malaysia and Singapore before.
Yeah,
Yes.
We had better infrastructure in the 50s and 60s. Pero ano nangyari? The wrong policies.
Surpass na tayo.
Oo, kasi wrong policies tayo eh. They had the right policies. We did not. So, they progressed. We got left behind. So, yun yung nangyari. And in the end, yung mga tao nila, because they had the good jobs, they had maganda yung kanilang
And the leadership.
and the leadership, no? They had the good leadership. They had the good leadership came because naka-parliamentary sila.
That's actually
naka-parliamentary sila.
Yan. Yan yung actually tatanong ko. I mean, observe, na-mention mo yung mga areas na to. Na-mention mo yung mga areas na to wherein, yun nga, nabanggit mo nga, na parliament yung form of governance nila. And if you look at in the map, all our neighboring countries are running through a parliamentary system.
Yes, yes.
And we're the only in the Southeast Asia has the bicameral form of governance. Presidential, ganito, ganyan. And now, being in the picture that BARM is already a parliament, and gaya nga na nabanggit natin that baka maging template ito of, though, if possible, kung gumaling ito, gumanda, na ma-roll out na sa buong Pilipinas. As a constitutionalist, sir, parang nakikita nyo ba na parang it's about time? Parang, alam nyo, kasi parang when you mention about the parliament, magloko ka lang, tanggal ka na. Ganyan po kasi sa parliament eh.
Yes.
Diba?
Yes.
And it happened already in these countries that we are mentioning. Tayo, for how many decades? Doon tayo tumatakbo eh. Kailangan pa dumaan ng impeachment kasi binota ng mga tao. Kailangan pa na gumalaw. Pwede namang sa parliament, if there's no a vote of no confidence, kicks out the leader.
Yes. That is exactly what happens na you have a system that is so meritocratic and competence-based na it's actually an analogous system to yung corporate corporate systems na umaangat ka hindi dahil sa connection mo, kundi dahil sa galing mo. Kasi mangyari man na yung tao ay nalagay sa being CEO dahil apo siya ni ganito, whatever, pero hindi naman siya magaling. Siyempre, ang board of directors, everyone will get angry. Ano ba tong mga resulta natin? Laging palpak.
Saka yan ang nangyayari dyan, Orion, parang yung accountability rests with the party
Yes.
Hindi siya individual. So, yun yung binabanggit kanina ni Nords na unlike in a presidential form of government na merong term limit may term of office yan
Term of office.
So,
yes.
kumbaga parang alam mo yung dun sa 3 taon, parang feeling mo meron kang
Teka,
vested
titiisin
right.
ba natin?
Yes,
no?
yes.
So,
Kahit anong gawin ko, nandiyan pa rin ako.
Nandiyan pa rin.
Parang
Oo,
ang
tama.
gagawin nyo na lang, edi antayin nyo na lang magka-eleksyon. Normal.
Oo,
ganun
di
din
ba
naman
naman
yung
yan?
mga tao, no, na yung mga leaders na walang ginawang
Oo, tama.
tama, sasabihin niya, total, boss, 3 taon naman yan. Tapos meron ka pang 2 sunod na 3 taon. So, 9 years. Unlike in a parliamentary form of government na, kasi party-based system yan, pag ultimo yung partido mo, nakita nila na
Sila mismo.
you are not
Oo,
towing the line insofar as the party agenda in terms of development, in terms of political promises or whatever you call it, nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na vote of no confidence. At
Yes.
pangalawa, maganda dyan, nasasalang natin ngayon because the chief minister will come from the party itself,
Yes,
from the
yes.
members of the parliament. Unlike nung nangyayari sa atin sa Pilipinas ngayon, na pag may pangalan ka, pag celebrity ka, mas ibang usapan na yan.
Ayun na nga eh.
Kumbaga, meron ka ng
magbudots, gano'n.
daanin mo lang sa kanta yan. Ang unang tanong nga, dapat, sabi nga nila, may biro yan eh. Yung artista, nagiging politiko. Yung politiko, nagiging
Ayun.
artista. No? So,
Para mas
in
secure
fact, may nabasa rin ako na sabi nga nila, Nords na ibang-iba sa Pilipinas dahil for you to become a lawyer, kailangan mo mag-aral ng law. That's practically 4 years from
Sa
pre-law,
Pilipinas.
4 na taon na law school, then you have to review, then you have to pass the bar exam para maging lawyer ka. And then eventually, here comes the Congress or the Senate na you did not even graduate a college but you become a lawmaker. So, I mean, these are the reality. Pero
Dami yan sa kongreso
oh yan, pero balikan ko yung binabanggit mo doon na kasi ano yan eh, it's more of a political patronage. Parang ang binabanggit ni Orion, mawawala lang yung ganitong sistema kung economically empowered yung mga
tao.
communities.
Pero Attorney Alex, dugtungan ko lang yung sinabi mo kanina kasi sabi mo nga yung politiko nagiging artista, yung artista nagiging politiko. There's a +1 equation on that.
Oh, which one?
Kasi ngayon, social media personalities are also butting in election.
Oo nga, meron nga.
sabi, may may 10 million followers. Pwede
Pero-
na yung tumakbo.
pero-
It adds up to the equation, ha?
Pero actually, on a positive note, pwede natin tingnan as a constructive development yan. Dahil noon kasi, kung wala kang access sa mga mainstream media,
Yes.
kung hindi ka hawak ng malalaking
Talent agency.
Wala. Paano ka papasok dyan? Unlike
Yes.
ngayon, pag magaling ka, si Orion, magkuha ka lang ng sarili mong podcast and then you have this kind of following. That's already something, no?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
this equalizes somehow.
In a way, yes.
In a way. But of course, alam naman natin, kung may pros yan, may mga disadvantages din yan. Yung iba dyan, nagiging platform for fake news.
Oo nga eh.
Di ba? I mean,
Tapos may iba dun, budots lang
wala
eh.
Pero alam mo in many occasion, it does not necessarily follow na dahil you have these tens of millions of followers or followings in social media will translate into votes. Kasi at the end of the day,
That's one thing that they are looking right now, come 2028, that there are so many, may it be local, may it be national, may it be in the local government na madami daw mga social media personalities that will be running.
Pero alam mo, ang maganda dyan, Ryan, kasi at least tayo, malayo tayo maging artista eh. Maging politiko, medyo alanganin din. Pero bakit yung maging ticket natin?
Baka ito na.
Baka ito na.
Kaya sipagin na lang
Kaya
natin to.
sipagin na lang natin to. At palagay ko siguro, let's keep pushing this. No? Malay mo. Kasi nga, sabi mo, ang hirap eh noon. Kailangan may talent agency ka.
Agency.
At may talent ka.
At may talent. Siyempre. Pero alam mo, kahit wala kang talent, pag may talent agency ka, pwede na rin.
Pwede din.
Kasi
Ay,
minsan,
pupush ka nila eh.
kahit wala kang talent, alam mo, may mga nagiging hawak nga ng talent agency na ang kanyang niche ay kabubuhan eh.
Oo, yun nga.
Pa rin.
Hindi, I mean,
diba?
you can see social, hindi naman tayo pero you can see social media personalities that's following. Pero titingnan mo kung ano yung pinagagawa nila, puro kalokohan.
Yung kalokohan lang.
Doon tayo
Pero actually,
Mag-ano na lang.
in reality, Orion Nodes, talagang somehow, yung mga ganitong platforms give us an opportunity to reach out.
Yes, that's
Because unang-una, to tulad nung Bangsamoro Lens, no?
Yes.
This is an opportunity that we have this kind of platform that focus on the Bangsamoro people.
Yes, correct.
Because wala namang mainstream media that will probably cater for the issues, challenges ng Bangsamoro
Nakikita
people.
natin yan.
Ito, ang maganda dito, sabi ko kami organic, we came from the region itself, so alam mo yung we know that we relate to the people, the sentiment itself. Kasi sabi mo nga, alam mo, ang dami na nating ginawang experience, mga experimental from ARMM to BARM. It's a continuing quest. And at times, alam mo, yung sinabi nga nila, at one point, binabanggit na yung ARMM is a failed experiment.
Oo.
So ibig sabihin, alam mo yung long overdue, ilang dekada na tayo that we've been searching for a truly genuine and meaningful autonomy for the people. Ngayon, makikita mo yan, boss. Ang maganda rito, Orion, hopefully matuloy yung election sa September 2026. Dahil ngayon pa lang sa grounds, makikita mo yung grabe yung shifting of political realignment.
Yan ang magandang pag-usapan.
Political realignment
isa na naman
as a
yan.
constitutionalist, as a policy advocate or whatever, yung nakikita mong gano'n, kasi halimbawa, this may be taken against your proposition na sinasabi mo na, okay, pag federalism, we are better off than the presidential. Pero parang kung titingnan mo, the same political realignment is happening now. So what would assure us now that if we transition from a autonomy, parliament to federalism, ma-address ba yung mga ganyang setback?
Well, actually, meron kasi talaga tayong intrinsic issues sa overall system natin. So yung, for example, yung
Tayo mismo.
sa national level, which cascade downward. So for example, yung term limits na meron tayo, those also apply to the Bangsamoro region.
Of course.
Diba?
Of course.
So unfortunately, there are many academic studies, international academic studies, that show that term limits are actually bad.
Mhm.
We always think, kasi dito sa Pilipinas, we are made to think na mas maganda yan kasi give chance, so-called give chance to others. But one of the side effects pala of, for example, yung ginawa natin na magkaroon tayo ng single 6-year term, yun pala yung naging cause ng laging party switching na nagkaroon tayo ng maraming mga weak parties. No? And then, there's another study, that first study I mentioned, that's from Dr. Yuko Kasuya. She's now a full professor. Dr. Yuko Kasuya, Japanese siya, pero madalas siyang pumunta sa Pilipinas at nag-immerse siya talaga sa ating sistema. Gumawa siya ng libro called Presidential Bandwagon, Parties and Party Systems in the Philippines.
Maganda.
Talagang sinadi niya, tapos pinakita niya, ay, ito pala yung naging problema. When we had the 1935 Constitution na pwedeng mag-run indefinitely ang maraming mga ordinaryong tao, okay pa. Tapos yung president, 4 years, actually, we had a more stable system. It's not perfect, but it was more stable than what happened in 1987. Kasi nung dati, when the president is able to run for re-election, that means that the incumbent, who is usually viewed by his challengers as incumbent siya, may incumbency advantage yan. Kasi he has the resources dahil siya yung
Somehow,
sitting president.
Yung in law, tinatawag nilang equity of incumbents.
Equity of incumbents,
So,
incumbency advantage sa political science.
pero maganda yung punto mo na kumbaga nakitang one of the kumbaga constraints is yung term limit.
Term
As
limits
provided
actually
for
makes
under
things
the
worse.
Constitution, no? That makes it worse. Sabi ko nga, essentially with what's happening right now, sabi ko nga, mali yung Constitution. Dapat hindi term limit ang inuna, dapat nilagyan ng grid limits.
Dapat great limits. Yeah.
In certain
Talaga.
areas, no?
Oo.
But well, basically, tama naman yun. Kasi ang sabi nga nila, napakaiksi nung 6 na taon para sa isang matinong, halimbawa sa presidente na lang, dahil 6 na taon yan, at napakahaba naman yan para dun sa isang
Walang kwenta.
umuupong walang kwenta,
kwenta.
because you have to suffer the
The full 6
years.
Full 6 years.
No?
Kung sa first month pa lang, kitang-kita ko
wala
yung
na.
kwenta, dapat sana tinatanggal na yan.
Saka yun yung maganda
Diba?
din sa pag sa sinabi natin parliamentary dahil una, yun nga, yung vote of no confidence, the party now that holds the administration will have to gauge yung kanilang leader.
Yes.
Yun yung kagandahan ng mga ganyan. But hopefully, sabi nga natin nila Nords, ang maganda naman dito, we are continually experimenting. At ako, ang tinitingnan ko diyan, nabasa ko rin yung how Singapore started their journey.
Yes.
Na nung pinatalsik sila ng Malaysia, nothing at all. Talagang kaya on a radio, TV yata, mangyak-nyak si Lee Kuan
Si Lee Kuan Yew, yes.
But they took that as a challenge. And then, ang dami nilang ginawang mga initiatives para magkaroon ng sense of pride, sense of nationalism. And then, look at Singapore. In fact, para lang susugan ko yung binabanggit kanina ni Nords na yung mga binanggit niya yung sa ASEAN countries, tayo lang yung presidential. But even if you look at the data, those parliamentary form of governments were in fact the least corrupt.
Yes. Yan naman ang maganda.
Yes, actually,
yung corruption side.
Yan, papasok natin yan. For
Yan.
example, dito sa pag tinignan natin yung tinatawag na Corruption Perceptions Index ng Transparency International, when you do a simple, let's get the top 30 least corrupt countries in the world versus the bottom 30 who are the most corrupt countries in the world. Makikita natin, majority ng least corrupt countries, yung 30 na yun, parliamentary system. Tapos titingnan natin yung bottom 30 who are the most corrupt, presidential and semi-presidential sila. So, kitang-kita. Tapos, there's that additional set of studies. So, may dalawang main studies na nakita ng grupo namin nung nagre-research kami. Number one was from the World Bank. May academic research na ginawa by Dr. Norman Loaiza, Dr. Daniel Lederman, and Dr. Rodrigo Suarez, na nakita nila pag parliamentary system, less prone to corruption. And there was another study, separate study by Brown University, Dr. John Gehring and Dr. Stromthacker. They also did a separate study.
Hindi mo naman mga
And the same
kapitbahay
thing.
yan, no?
Hindi ko kilala.
Hindi mo mamaya mga kapitbahay mo na.
Baka kasama sa paluwagan kasi alam na siya.
Kung kilala mo yan, pwede natin paupuin sila rito.
Nandun sila sa US.
Ayun lang, no? So,
But these studies,
They show parliamentary is less.
Ganda.
ina-explain mo, parang wala ka, inuman ko lang yan sila.
Kabisado yung mga pangalan eh. Kaya nagmulat
ako
eh.
Sabi ko,
Lagi kaming nagkakape na kasama.
Parang nasa attendance, nakita. Ito, dumating na si
pero one time, merong it caught my yung attention. You share do sa page mo, boss, na a bad system
Yes, will destroy good people anytime.
people.
Yes.
alam mo, tumatak sa akin yun. Somehow, it holds true.
Yes.
A bad system destroys good people.
Yes. Actually, that is mentioned by many management gurus.
Alam ko, kilala mo rin eh.
Meron si Deming, W.H. Deming, William Deming ba yun? Yung parang management guru siya. He's the one who is responsible for teaching Japan yung just-in-time technique ng manufacturing. And he came up with many of these management techniques and all that. And one of his things na sinabi niya, bakit importanteng magkaroon ka ng tamang sistema? Kasi kung meron kang pangit na sistema, yung mga matitino mong tao ay mawawalan ng gana. Tapos yung mga magagaling na tao ay aalis. So yun yung...
Alam mo, kasi
diba?
It goes without saying that yung somehow yung behavior ng mga tao, even the leader itself, is somehow dictated by the environment.
The environment,
that we are
yes.
in.
The incentive schemes. The incentive schemes.
So, pwedeng halimbawa, kapag nakita talaga dun sa system na relies on meritocracy, performance-based, siyempre magpapakatino ka.
Yes.
Compare dun sa kasama mo na walang ginawa, kundi sumipsip. Pero pagdating ng promotion, siya pa yung umaangat ng pagkabilis-bilis.
Exactly.
So that's a bad system.
That's a bad system. Yun yung sinasabi.
Ako realization ko, kailangan na Attorney Alex, magkabisa na din tayo ng mga pangalan.
Oh, yun. Well, alam mo, isa yan doon sa nakita ko. Alam mo, ito maganda pag may guest ka, boss eh. Dahil
You pick up all the
you
good
pick
things.
up the good thing about
Oo,
it eh.
oo.
Sabi ko, dapat pala.
Magsusulat na din ako ng mga
dapat pala, boss,
pangalan.
pag meron akong binanggit na, alam mo ba, sabi
May
ni ganito,
reference.
para realistic.
Para
Hindi
Yes,
mo
yes.
po pwedeng daanin sa
sabi
kwento
ng barbero namin doon sa kanto.
Trust me, bro.
Ayun yun.
Ayun, yung mga ganun.
Ano yung problema dun sa trust me bro? Sabi naman niya, kaya nga hindi kita mapagkatiwalaan eh. Dahil ikaw yan eh.
Oo eh.
No, yun ang setback nun. But, well anyway, yung mga ganyan, boss, kasi anong nakikita mong doon sa reform, doon sa constitutional reform agenda?
Yan yung gusto kong malaman.
Kasi ikaw namomonitor mo yan. In fact, in many occasions, nakikita ko na you have been invited in a lot of congressional hearings into this constitutional reform. At sabi ko maganda yan. Pero at least give us a, ano ba yan, masasabi natin,
Overview?
updates or overview kung
Ano ba talaga? Con-as ba dapat? Con-con?
con-con, ano
Oo,
ba talaga
mga ganyan,
dapat sa
ano
atin
ba?
sa Pilipinas para hindi wag na tayo magbulahan.
Dati very ano ako sa Constituent Assembly kasi the idea there is it's cheaper kasi. However, just looking at the fact that ang hirap-hirap niyang isulong dahil sa ambiguity ng may problema kasi tayo dun sa sa clause ng Article 17. Doon sa Article 17 hindi na specify ng mga nagsulat ng 1987 Constitution kung paano ba yung treatment ng both houses. Kasi the way it was worded was Congress with a 3/4 vote may call an assembly, parang ganon yung can convene to create amendments daw, parang ganon. Hindi niya in-specify kung paano mangyayari yung both houses na yan.
Either
Kung
voting separately
ba
or
or
voting as one.
as one.
Dahil pag
Oo.
voting as one, diluted yung boto ng mga senador.
Senator.
Yes, yes.
And 24 contra 237.
Tama, wala silang
Yes.
laban.
Pero ako palagay ko, ang logical na ano doon is voting separately.
Yes, that's what I think too. That's what I think as well.
I mean kami on the side na teka, wala naman kaming alam sa 1987 Constitution. Tapos may naririnig daw, hindi, baguhin na lang natin yung Constitution kasi that Constitution was copy-pasted from a already existing Constitution na hindi natin nabago because it happened doon sa switch na nangyari. Doon sa snap elections. Tapos
Yes.
doon sa naging
EDSA
It's a
Revolution.
revolution. Tapos, at biglang, out of the sudden, naisip na lang ng mga dating natin, sige, baguhin natin yung Constitution. So, is it time na baguhin talaga natin yung
Matagal na siyang dapat binago.
Tayo.
Actually, 90s pa lang, no? Dito pumapasok. If we all remember in the 90s, si President Fidel V. Ramos was already pushing for constitutional reform.
Yun yung Philippine 2000, no? Philippines
Oh, gusto
2000.
niyang magbago baguhin yung constitution ng Pilipinas. And it
Kaya
turns out,
bineta niya yung Petron.
Anong connection?
isip ko lang.
it happened na kaya nangyari yung ganung mga gusto niyang gawin yung reforma na yan is actually nung pagkapanalo lang ni FVR nung time na yon in November 18, 1992 naging guest.
Hindi pa kami pinapanganak ng boss.
Muntikan.
Kaya
Muntik na.
medyo hindi ko nasakyan niya. Pero tuloy mo lang.
1992, November 18, 1992, naging guest speaker sa Philippine Business Conference si Lee Kuan Yew.
That's
He had already he basically nag-step down na siya as Prime Minister and he was now at that point in time a senior minister. He
So-
came to the Philippines, gave a speech telling us, by the way, you have everything it takes to become successful.
exactly.
But you need to make changes to your systems.
Okay.
And he said, in our own experience, ganito kami dati, inayos namin para maging mas bukas kami sa foreign investors, kaya dun kami kumita, dun kami yumaman dahil dumami mga trabaho, blah blah blah, na wala yung poverty, na wala yung korupsyon, Kasi pag maraming tao may trabaho, maganda yung mga kita, blah blah blah, mataas ang
Pero
sweldo,
ano yan eh,
bababa ang
ang
produksyon.
banat ng mga Pilipino, ganito kami noon, ganito pa rin kami hanggang ngayon.
Kasi ganun kami.
Kasi ganun kami.
ganun
I
kami.
mean,
Sayang lang because he
Pero
himself
tama yan.
himself said that you have what it takes. Sabi niya, kami sa Singapore, nagre-rely kami sa maraming Pilipino kasi magagaling kayo. Pag architect, IT, ganyan, ang daming OFW na nasa Singapore, sabi niya. Meaning, magaling kayo as a people. Problema lang, baguhin niyo yung sistema niyo. He also mentioned in
I don't
his
know,
speech,
I don't know kung sinabi rin to ni Lee Kuan Yew. Kasi at least ikaw, constitutionalist ka, baka nasundan mo. Lalo na sa amin ni Norse na wala pa naman kami ng mga panahon na yun. At least we can validate to you. Ang sabi raw niya, Norse, ang sabi raw niya, what you need in the Philippines is hindi democracy,
yes,
but discipline. Tama ba yun?
that was in that same speech.
Okay,
And in that
okay.
same speech on November 18,
Yun yung
1992,
nag-circulate na speech eh.
that's the speech. That speech on November 18, 1992
Sinabi
to
niya
the
yun.
to the Philippine Business Conference. Yun ang opening niya
Galing,
sa
ah.
speech. Sinabi niya, I do not believe that it is necessary for a country to have democracy. I believe it is necessary for a country to have discipline. Ganyan. So, yun yung intro niya. And in the Philippines, yun lang ang pumatok. Yun lang ang kinalat. Kinalimutan ng maraming mga nasa media na marami siyang ibang sinabing specific, maging bukas kayo sa investors.
Okay.
Paramihin nyo. Tapos sinabi niya, kami sa Singapore, nung nagbukas kami, dumami ang trabaho, blah, blah, blah. Tapos later on, sumunod. Kumopya sa amin ang Malaysia, ang Thailand, ang Indonesia.
Which is
Kaya
yes.
rin sila
Umasenso.
umasenso. And then he said, and recently, Vietnam has also been doing the same.
Yeah,
Nung
yeah.
time na yun. And gumanon siya, kung hindi kayo magbabago. Sinabi niya sa speech niya yun, 1992. Pag hindi kayo magbabago, mauunahan kayo ng Vietnam.
Which is tama.
Nagkatotoo.
Which is totoo. Dahil alam mo yan,
Katotoo.
speaking of Vietnam na, in 1999, I was part of those Philippine youth contingent ambassador of goodwill doon sa program na
Youth
C4
pa
Southeast Asian Youth Program. Bata pa tayo, no? Kasi
Youth pa nun,
hindi tayo magkukwalify no, hindi tayo bata eh. SEAP yun. So that's a cultural exchange program. And we were hosted in Danang. That was in 1999, boss. Danang looked at the time so provincial, rural. Ika nga.
That's Vietnam.
That's Vietnam.
Vietnam.
But in 2018, fortunately, nakabalik ako doon to attend a UN EU Road Safety Conference. Boss, my God, lahat ng mga high-end hotels,
Ay,
condominiums, ang Danang, grabe na.
Grabe.
Parang Hawaii na yan.
Oh my gosh.
Grabe.
Oh.
So tayo, pag landing natin sa Nayak, ganun pa rin. 20 years, 40 years ago, yung pa rin. My
Sabi
God,
nga
but,
nila, merong umalis na OFW na dun siya umalis from the Terminal 1.
yeah.
And he's been staying for in abroad for how many decades na. Bumalik daw siya. Teka, ganito pa rin.
Ganito pa rin. Hindi nagbago.
Hindi ba ako ang naiyak?
Well,
Ganito pa rin.
pareho pa rin.
Pareho pa rin.
Yun yung
And
sinabi
I've been
ka mo
out for
ni
decades.
Lee Kuan Yew that in 1992, pag hindi kayo nagbago,
Maunahan kayo.
maunahan pa
Gumanon
rin kayo.
siya.
Vietnam.
Tama.
In the end of his, towards the end of that speech, he also said, one of your liabilities or one of the problems is that the Philippines uses a US style constitution.
Okay, going to that I mean being a constitutionalist at tapos history buff din kasi may nagsasabi ng mga kababayan natin or I mean historians also that lahat ng halos na colonize ng European or let's say Brits noong time like Singapore, Malaysia, lahat yan colonize ng Brits eh. Tapos in the area Indonesia as well, no? Tayo lang yung US colonized. So sabi nila kasi naiwan nila yung magandang ano nila, pamumuno, ganyan. They let their colonized countries flourish. Tayo, parang hindi tayo nag-flourish with the US eh.
With the US
Oo.
system. Yeah, to
Dami
begin with,
nila.
the US system talaga is not really that good. Sa totoo lang. And even Lee Kuan Yew himself said
and
that.
we share the same government
Yes,
structure.
yes. Actually, in that speech, yung sinasabi natin, the famous November 18, 1992 speech, sinabi niya na yung mga Asian tigers tulad ng Korea, Taiwan, etc., Singapore, we would not have become as successful as we are now kung yung sistema na meron kayo na ginopya nyo sa US ay yun din ang ginagamit namin. Gumanon siya. And then, sinabi niya, kaya nga lang naman gumana yung sistema ng US doon sa US, dahil ang US may maraming mga natural advantages. Sobrang laking lupa.
Totoo naman.
Sobrang daming
I see.
sobrang daming immigrants driven to succeed.
Actually, during the time of
ganun.
then President PDLB Ramos, parang alam mo yung tagline, kung gamitin natin yung tagline ngayon, parang the rising tiger.
Racing Tigers.
One of the rising
Yes.
tigers. Actually, in Asia. Ang nangyari, nakawala yung tiger.
Nakawala yung tiger.
So, kaya hindi na mahanap. No?
Sinindihan daw.
So, yan yung naging drawback natin. But we continue to hope pa rin, despite na ganito yan, dahil sabi mo nga doon sa discipline. Alam mo ako, kahit ako, Nords, there was one time din, sort of anecdote.
Hulaan ko.
Hindi,
Hindi ka nahuli sa Singapore.
Hindi, ito. Yung anecdote niya, boss, just to toe the line doon sa discipline. May ang sabi naman niya, if you want to see the kind of culture of a nation, tingnan mo yung kanilang kakalsadahan and it will tell you something.
Tama.
Alam mo, I mean, look at our
Yes. Yung infrastructure.
yung
na meron
infrastructure, pati yung disiplina, yung behavioral attitude ng
yes.
ating mga drivers, yung ating mga motorists.
Ay, yan yung isang problema talaga.
So doon pa lang,
Being a motorist in the Philippines.
Yes.
this speaks of what kind of culture and discipline we have.
Grabe.
And tingnan mo,
Forte ni ni Boss Alex ito eh.
Syempre.
alam mo,
road safety.
lagi kong
Road
naihahambing
safety.
yun, naalala ko lang dahil binanggit ng kaibigan mong si Lee Kuan Yew, ikinwento naman sa'yo, at kinwento
Itong
mo naman
kakapihan
sa amin.
natin na si Lico.
So at least, maganda yan, boss. At least we are learning something new. Yung mga ganon. Misa nga kami sabi namin, may portion kami rito na dapat lagi may trivia.
Oo.
Yung wala ka
Wala ka sa lolo ko.
Wala ka sa lolo
Baka
ko.
meron ka dyan na...
Baka meron kang gusto yung ilabas na icebreaker.
Wag
But,
ganyan.
well, essentially, kami ni Nords, talagang ito yung we want to bring in great minds such as you to give us insights, no? Otherwise, hindi ka naman namin nililibre ng kape kung ano yung mga insights mo. But we are fortunate enough that, of course, pinagbigyan mo yung invitation ng ating platform, yung Kalinaw Collective Media, as well as the Crossroads, and then itong aming Bangsamoro Lens. We are now focused in seeing to it that may upo natin yung the likes of you, to at least para bago magkaroon ng election sa 2026. Alam mo, this may provide then some insights yung mga political parties, yung district candidates, the sectoral candidates. In fact, kami ni Nords, through this platform, we are extending yung ating invitation, open invitation to all political parties that are running for the Bangsamoro Parliamentary Education na maupo sa atin dito for them to probably speak out kung anong agenda nila, anong vision
Yes,
nila.
para makilala yung kanilang plataforma.
Because we need to have an intelligent decision comes 2026. And hopefully ito yung at least sinasabi na po namin yan in public that we welcome any candidates in the Bangsamoro Parliamentary Election for 2026 na matawag dyan, Nords, kung malakas ang loob nila.
Oo. Umupo dito.
Kung malakas ang loob nyo, harapin nyo si Nords. Harapin nyo si Orion. Para, I mean, di ba, let's change the narrative.
Yes.
Let's see to it that we have a region that probably espouses best practices.
Yes.
Sabi nga, gusto natin maging model ang BARM. Ako, I'm very, very hopeful and to tell you frankly, excited ako na sana matuloy yung election.
Yes.
Dahil tingnan natin kung how it will transition from a transitional form of government to a truly democratic environment for the Bangsamoro people. So, Nords, no, probably we'll have to medyo napahaba na yung kape.
Malamig na.
Malamig na. So, ikaw, baka gusto mong...
Ako, I've always liked to hear yung purview ng mga gaya ni Sir Orion who are monitoring Bangsamoro, the people of the Bangsamoro, di ba? Kasi marami sa mga kababayan natin, they would say na, bakit ba kailangan merong ganyan? Bakit ba parang may special treatment na ganyan? Bakit ba, bakit ba yung dapat gawin ng gobyerno? And this opportunity tells everyone na, hindi, kasi ganito yung pinagdaanan, ganito yung kailangan nila, at ganito yung guidance na kailangan nila. So, I mean, looking at on the situation now in BARM, I think pangwakas na, ano?
Oo.
Ano po ang
Actually, umpisa pa
masasabi
lang tayo.
niyo?
Intro pa lang to. Intro
Umpisa
pa lang yan.
intro pa lang yung kanina. So,
But anyway.
ano yung ano nyo po? I mean, looking at on the shenanigans that is happening already in BARM and on the coming election and hopefully after that.
Well, as I said earlier, no, I really wish that BARM could become the model. And really, partly the reason for that is, let's go back to what happened during the formation of the 1935 Constitution. There was a delegate in that formation of that Constitution who eventually did not sign the Constitution. He was the only person who did not sign. He was himself a Maranao. He was a Christianized Maranao. But he himself was pushing, he spent, I think, a day talking all about the merits of moving to having federalism. This was none other than Tomas Luis Kabili. No? And
From
he,
Iligan, ano?
from Iligan, no?
Kabili.
Exactly. And he himself really wanted this to happen because he said there are unique features about the communities here that are not exactly the same with the rest of the country. And other parts of the country as well, yung mga nasa Cordillera also have similar situations. So let's have federalism, which is from the US has federalism. Why aren't we having it here? Ganyan siya. Why aren't we having it here? We need this, blah, blah, blah. Kung hindi natin magawa ito, magkakaroon ng maraming mga misfits na hindi nagkakakasya-kasya, kaya baka magkakaroon ng gulo. That's what he said. And this is sana mangyari na sana ito. And having BARM succeed is actually the prelude to having the federal parliamentary system in the whole Philippines that could actually propel us to eventually become a first world country.
Well, thank you, Ryan. At Nurse, no, alam nyo po, just to give you a, kumbaga, insight on the recap, no? And probably for our listeners or viewers, this is what set apart the Bangsamoro Lens. Because una, this is the first time na meron tayong platform such as this, dedicated to addressing the issues, various issues of the Bangsamoro people, both from within the region as well as the outside the region. Basically, sabi ko nga, Nords, ang maganda rito, yung we dare to ask the hard questions. Things that may probably uncomfortable for anyone. They do not want to hear something that somehow yung bang masasabi natin that threatens their very political existence. But at the end of the day, ito po yung one of the objectives of the Bangsamoro Lens, to provide this kind of platform to speak up. And that's why bago pa yung election, napakalaki po ng potential ng BARM as mentioned to by Orion Perez. At sana magtuloy-tuloy yung ganitong progresibong pag-iisip. I hope that this will not be the first and the last, no? That you will sit down with us, boss, no? Nakasama ko po si Orion sa iba't ibang platform, or sa Vantage Point Media, at huwag kayong magugulat na ganyan po talaga manabit yan. Actually, pag natutulog, nakaganyan pa rin po yan.
Hindi, akala ko baka may lapel mic.
Ano lang yan. Akala ko pajama lang niya yan, no? But anyway, thank you very much, boss, for having
Thank you for having
providing
me.
your time. Of course,
Alex, thank you.
Nords, Maguindanao. Sabi mo, siya lang yung Maranao na Maguindanao. Every now and then. So, again,
Nakabatik
no?
sa episode na ito.
At least mula po dito sa ating Bangsamoro Lens, ako po si Attorney Alex Abaton.
Nords Maguindanao.
Marami pong salamat sa kanila.